key to the room turned with a rasp of disuse. 40 years, a life sealed away. Inside. Not the immaculate gentleman known to the cafes, but a different truth. 12 identical gray velvet suits, a uniform against what, or for whom? Among the chaos, a piano, silent for years, and the umbrellas, so many umbrellas, untouched by rain. This was the sanctum of Erik Satie, the composer who wore his name like another perfectly tailored suit. A name whispered then, a frequency resonating now. He left behind not just scores, but deliberate absences, silences that still ask questions. Was the music a map to this inner sanctum, or just another layer of velvet? The enigma of Arcueil, a prelude to the paradox of Satie himself. Before Arcueil's dust settled, there was Montmartre. The Butte, a crucible of incandescent talents and dazzling decay. Here, Satie, the conservatory dropout, found his first stage. Le Chat Noir, a cabaret where the sacred and profane danced a nightly jig. He played the piano, a reluctant accompanist to the era's fever dream. The air thrummed with symbolism, whispers of Rosicrucian mysteries, a yearning for worlds beyond the material. Gustave Moreau's Salome, Odilon Redon's disembodied eyes gazing into the infinite, these were the visual currents. Satie absorbed it all. The irony, the absurdity, the search for an inner chord. His early compositions, the ogives, the nociens, carry this ancient future, stripped bare modal, like forgotten chants unearthed for a new restless congregation. He was already listening to a different rhythm, a sparse counterpoint to the lush orchestrations of his time. This was not rebellion yet, but a quiet divergence, a subtle unfurling of a music that refused to shout. The velvet suits multiplied, the public persona solidified, the velvet gentleman. His writings, memoirs of an amnesiac, a mammal's notebook, weren't just eccentricities, they were manifestos of a private Dada. My day, I rise at 7:18 a.m. inspired from 10:23 to 11:47. I lunch at 12:11 and leave the table at 12:14. I only eat white foods, eggs, sugar, scraped bones, a life lived as performance art. Then came the ideas that fractured musical reality. Musique d'ameublement. Furniture music, sound to be present but not listened to, vibrations to furnish silence, like light or heat. Decades before Brian Eno, before the endless playlists that soundtrack our lives, Satie dreamt of music as atmosphere. And Vexations. One short piece, 840 repetitions. A challenge, a joke, or a Zen koan set to music. An exploration of endurance, of perception dissolving under the weight of sameness. He collaborated with Cocteau, Picasso, Man Ray, René Clair, the shock troops of the avant-garde, Parade, with its typewriters and sirens, a scandal. Relâche, a ballet that gave itself the night off. He was building not just compositions, but concepts, future-proof blueprints for sound. This was Satie the provocateur, the petaphysician, crafting the science of imaginary solutions. His contemporaries often dismissed him. Uninteresting, meaningless, the Paris Conservatoire deemed him lazy, but Satie was planting seeds in a future he wouldn't see. John Cage found in him a kindred spirit, a guide to the universe of silence and chance. To be interested in Satie, Cage wrote, one must be disinterested to begin with, accept sound as sound. This became a cornerstone of experimental music. Brian Eno heard the prophecy in furniture music. The permission slipped for ambient soundscapes designed to be as ignorable as they are interesting. The endless repetitions, the sparse textures, the modal drift. These became the DNA of minimalism. Philip Glass, Steve Reich, they picked up Satie's thread, and the echo continues, louder now. Aphex Twin, explicitly citing Satie's inspiration, his delicate piano works like Avril 14th carrying that same melancholic simple beauty, the playful deconstructions of IDM, the textural explorations of drone, even the aesthetic of failure in glitch music, where damaged audio finds beauty. Satie's spirit of anti-art, his embrace of the flabby prelude, resonates here. He didn't just compose music, he composed permissions. Permission to be simple, permission to be repetitive, permission to be background, permission to be absurd. The Satie paradox deepens, the meticulous composer of pear-shaped pieces, a joke concealing serious form, the dandy who lived in squalor, the iconoclast who craved recognition, his life, a performance piece that blurred art and reality, prefiguring the curated identities of the digital age. His open source scores, devoid of bar lines, inviting interpretation, not just reproduction, resonate with a culture of remixing, of artists constantly reinterpreting sonic materials. He was a cultural DJ, sampling Gregorian chants, cabaret tunes, the clatter of the modern world, fusing them into something uniquely his. This process of absorption, transformation, is the lifeblood of electronic music. He questioned the very act of listening, the function of music in society, long before algorithms began curating our emotional landscapes. His rebellion wasn't just against romantic grandiosity, the sauerkraut in music as he termed it. It was a fundamental re-evaluation of sound itself. He found artistic liberation in what the establishment deemed flawed, a quiet insistence on his own internal logic. Erik Satie remains an unsolved chord, an enigma draped in velvet. He built a fortress of eccentricity and from within its walls launched a quiet revolution. His humor a shield, his simplicity a radical act. He composed not for the concert halls of his time, but for the corridors of the future, for the spaces between sounds, for the periphery of our attention. The velvet gentleman, the master of mood, the accidental prophet of ambient, the phantom of Arcueil. His notes were whispers then, but they've amplified into a persistent hum beneath the surface of our digital age. His music asks us not to understand perhaps, but simply to listen differently, to find the profound in the plain, the infinite in the loop, the music in the silence. The door to his room in Arcueil is closed, but his ideas wander freely like ghosts in the machine, still composing the future. But how do you hear his echoes in the relentless stream of our days? Where does his deliberate simplicity, his embrace of the atmospheric, touch your own creative landscapes or the way you navigate the endless ocean of digital sound? Does his spirit of playful rebellion find a mirror in the music that moves you? These are the kinds of threads we unravel here at Sub.stantia. Satie's legacy isn't a closed chapter, it's an open invitation. An invitation to listen deeper, to question the familiar, and to find the extraordinary in the seemingly unassuming. The velvet gentleman's hum persists, a subtle frequency beneath the noise, urging us to compose our own responses to his timeless provocations. What new forms will his influence inhabit next? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for tuning in again.